This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, without further ado, let's jump into it. We're going to be talking about all things Terry Funk. He was born in Hammond, Indiana on June 30th. So he's going to turn 77 next week. Everyone thinks Amarillo, Texas, I guess, is the birthplace of the Funks, but they didn't move there until the end of World War II. Terry's father, Dory Funk Sr., ran Western State Sports out of Amarillo. And Terry, I guess, was probably always destined to be a part of the wrestling business. What did you see of Western States back then in Oklahoma?
Not much. Everybody was on local TV. So it wasn't a cable overlay. So if your local television signal did not reach into a specific area, like from Amarillo to Oklahoma, then you never saw it. So I never saw that show once in my lifetime. I heard a lot about it. I'm sure I was seeing clips because so many of my friends worked through there, but I never saw it. But that was how it was then. That was before cable really got popular, and I don't think they were ever on a major cable system to get their national overlay. So consequently, it was all new to me. Now I knew the talents. The thing about that was occasionally Cowboy would book some of their talents on big shows in Oklahoma. It was still a drive. It's not an easy drive. I've driven it many times to go out to watch OU play Texas Tech in football. So nonetheless, it was all new to me in that regard.
Eventually, though, the Funks decided to sell the Amarillo territory to Blackjack Mulligan and Dick Murdoch not long after Terry dropped the title.
Can you say plane wreck, train wreck, car wreck?
All that, all the
everything. It was. I remember Watch would talk a lot to Murdoch, and Cowboy was a different businessman. You're well aware of Bill's credentials.
Yes,
he was a businessman, and I learned so much in just my normal business. Paying bills on time, being responsible with your money, saving money. I learned from Cowboy. He didn't want to see me end up like, he'd point out guys. Hey, kid, see that guy right there? I guarantee you get more money in the bank than he does. Yeah, but Bill, he's driving a Cadillac. Don't make a shit. The only reason he's driving a Cadillac is because they can't find it. I'm sure he's behind on payments. Don't be that guy. You can't spend more than you earn. You got to balance your books. And that's why the story I had told that one time about Murdoch not cashing a $1 check.
Yeah.
He knew Cowboy was going to be anal as hell to find that $1. It's missing. But the check had never been cashed. I know that sounds ludicrous, but there is a rhyme to this reason. So, but Murdoch and Mulligan, albeit great in-ring talents, and the big Texas guys and big Texas baby faces and all that stuff, they weren't ready for that. We talked about Dory and Terry not wanting that, seemingly didn't want that obligation to be to do the bookkeeping and to do all that mundane like work. Then you amplify that about 20 times and you got Mulligan and Murdoch. So it was interesting, but that was a brother-in-law type deal. Look, I'm not so sure did Mulligan go to West Texas? I know Mulligan was one of the first guys Bear Bryant tried to recruit when Bear Bryant was at Texas A&M.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mulligan was a big time recruit. That's a story I've always heard. It sounds correct. I mean, Bob Wyndham was a massive lineman that had quickness and athleticism and all that good stuff. And as the story goes, the legendary Bear Bryant was really in love with his upside. You don't see too many guys 6'6", 300 pounds in that era,
right? That
could move around. So anyway, to me, when that happened, of course, I was sold by Cowboy. I was a Cowboy disciple. He said, "Well, this is going to last about X long," and sure enough, he was about right. It just fell apart.
Let's keep it moving here and talk about what's next. We mentioned that they're going to sell the territory, but Terry wrote in his book that he felt like the business was changing and now was the time to sell. And for whatever reason, it's always felt like Terry was a visionary for the pro wrestling business. Why do you think that is?
Well, Terry's always been known as somebody that thinks outside the box. You can see that in the matches that he's had that we all can recall in different characterizations, as the white meat babyface, as the low-down scoundrel, heel, Chainsaw Charlie, all these other things that he did. My eye, Lawler, you son of a bitch. My eye. The empty arena match. I was entertained as hell in that match. Lawler and Funk had great chemistry, by the way. And of course, good old Lance Russell did a great job in an empty arena doing his thing back in the day. But Terry's always been a guy that thought outside the box, looking down the road. So was Terry Funk a visionary? Damn right he was. And he always had a good vision for the business and a plan. He always had a plan. And he would think things through to see if they worked or not in his mind. So he was truly a visionary, no doubt about it, Connie.